Coming up at 6, a woman pleads guilty in a 2022 Jackson County murder case. And we are learning more about a deadly crash on Highway 15 in Breathitt County yesterday. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, with the threat of flash flooding, we hear from one Eastern Kentucky Emergency Management Director about being prepared. And volunteers help with building homes at a higher ground community for those impacted by the flood nearly 3 years ago.
And we are tracking some scattered showers across the region.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We are seeing more scattered showers and storms out there. Nothing severe at the moment, but this pattern is expected to continue for several days. First Alert meteorologist Megan Dusmall has our first look at the forecast on this First Alert weather day. Megan.
Yes, that is right. We have this pattern of scattered showers and storms that will be continuing for the next couple of days. Now, right now, we're starting to calm down just a little bit, only seeing a few spots of heavy rainfall as we travel just to the top of Floyd County. We're seeing this little patch of rain near Prestonsburg. We head up to the north and we do see just outside of Lawrence County this strip of heavy rain. Now, there is still some rain towards the top of Lawrence County. We'll continue to track this through the next hour or so. Current temperatures in the region sitting in the upper 70s, especially as you travel to some of those places that saw some rain earlier, and then those who haven't seen rain for most of the day. Well, we're looking at that 90-degree mark. 90s right now in Jonesville, upper 80s as you travel to some other cities, 88 in Irvin. Now, the amount of change between the temperature from this time yesterday, you'll notice it is a little bit cooler for a lot of the central portion that saw that rainfall over the past couple hours. But those who didn't are seeing warmer temperatures. In fact, 11 degrees warmer right now compared to this time yesterday in Somerset. Now, for the next couple hours, we will see those temperatures continuing to drop as we see those slight chances of scattered showers and storms taking us throughout the remainder of the evening hours and into the overnight. Steve.
Megan, thank you. The potential for flash flooding will be with many folks during the next several days. It is a situation many here in the Commonwealth have become all too familiar with. Emergency Management Director in Perry County, Jerry Stacy, says response and communication has gotten significantly better within the last decade. Another element that has significantly improved through the years is training.
I come on board going on 11 years ago. I don't know that we had anybody trained in swiftwater rescue. We have multiple volunteer fire departments, the city fire department with multiple members that have all that training.
So confidence is in responding to disasters in the future is much higher. Of course, knowing what to do is important in the event flash flooding happens. A couple of things you can do to protect yourself and your property includes cleaning out your ditches and culverts. Well, if you were impacted by the May tornado in Laurel and Pulaski counties, you have 1 week left to apply for FEMA assistance. FEMA leaders say they have approved more than $2 million throughout Kentucky for this tornado outbreak, as there were other tornadoes during this time period in the state. For more about applying for FEMA disaster assistance, you can visit disasterassistance.gov. We'll have more about tornado recovery efforts in Pulaski County in our next half hour. We will mark a somber anniversary later this month, 3 years since the July 2022 flood that devastated portions of eastern Kentucky. After the February 2025 flood, folks continue to face the impacts of rising water, leading even more people to search for higher ground. As WYMT's Amelia Lee explains, volunteers from throughout the country have not forgotten their neighbors as they continue to work with the Housing Development Alliance to build high ground housing.
Folks from throughout the country have not forgotten about the people of Appalachia, coming in teams to help flood survivors heal on higher ground.
This is a great place to live. It's beautiful, the people are amazing, and there's no shame in asking for help, like providing the opportunity for people to give.
Folks with HDA tell me that their goal for this 50-acre Skyview housing site you see all around me is to build 64 houses for flood survivors. Right now they've got about 10, but volunteers are working around the clock to make even more.
I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water that can create many ripples. And our whole goal is to just create ripples.
Becca Shea is working with the Housing Development Alliance as a volunteer with 7F Global Initiative. She says this is not her first trip to Perry County.
Last year when we came, we were in a different development building homes. We built homes here for Farmer Baker. We're going to go visit him tomorrow. And to just be able to see, hear his story and see him get an awesome home. We met his grandson. He's like, my grandson's gonna live in this room, and he picked purple, and it was just such a cool experience.
The youngest volunteers learning from their hard work and the people they came to serve.
Thinking of how we take our nice place that we live in for granted. We don't think about how much it would cost for us to go through a flood and have to rebuild all our houses.
With a hope that flood survivors will soon move to higher ground communities, safe from flooding and finding peace.
Watching as we build these houses and as we fix things, that the impact that it makes on the people and stuff, it's just really beautiful.
A promise and plans now taking shape. In Perry County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
The Housing Development Alliance is working on projects throughout eastern Kentucky to help flood survivors from the 2022 flood and 2025 flood find higher ground housing. A teenager is dead after a crash in East Tennessee. That crash happened yesterday on Interstate 40 in Loudoun County. A 17-year-old who was not identified was behind a tractor trailer when they were rear-ended by another vehicle. That caused the teen driver to be pushed into the back of the semi's trailer. The teen died from injuries sustained in the crash. A shots fired investigation is underway in St. Albans, West Virginia. It happened at approximately 6 a.m. The St. Albans Police Department Special Response Team was executing a felony arrest and search warrant when shots were fired from an apartment. No officers were hit and no officers shot their guns.
They used the SRT team to go in there because they are felony serious warrants, and of course there's a search warrant involved. So they went in, and thankfully because of that, we use special response teams and SWAT teams and things like that because their resources and their training, and because of that high training, that is what keeps the incidents like this safe. And we have the outcomes that we have now because of that training.
One man was arrested. Additional information, including the identity of the suspect and charges, has not yet been released. We now know the cause of death for a 5-year-old boy after an Ian alert was issued for him in Hart County yesterday. The coroner says Silas Shears' death was consistent with drowning. State police were called to an area in the Cub Run community yesterday to search for Shear. They say they found Shear dead during a brief search. The coroner says they are waiting toxicology results to make a final ruling, which takes about 4 to 6 weeks. Joseph Lawson is appealing to have a new trial. He was convicted in connection with the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. The mother of 5 went missing in 2015 in Nelson County. In a motion filed by his defense team, it says several errors were made before and during the trial that ultimately led to the guilty verdict. The motion was filed this morning and is set to be heard at his final sentencing hearing on August 21st. The jury recommended Lawson spend 25 years in prison. Transportation cabinet officials say work will begin soon on one Letcher County road. Crews will be doing work on Kentucky 1410 starting Monday due to embankment repairs. They say the work is expected to run through July 24th, which is next Thursday. They will do the work at milepoint 0.375 near Old Kate Lane. Governor Andy Beshear is in South Carolina today to promote Kentucky's economic success at a union advocacy rally. The governor stopped in Greenville to speak at the AFL-CIO's 67th annual convention. It is part of a union advocacy tour. Some believe this trip is in preparation for the 2028 presidential race, but the governor did not address these rumors. Governor Beshear will appear at events in Columbia in the next 2 days. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, members of Operation Unite invite kids in the mountains to have some fun while learning about the dangers of drug abuse.
And we're watching scattered showers and storms continue through the next several days. I'll have more coming up.